Welcome back, Outlanders, to another video. Today we're going to talk about how to get the most loot you can get so that you can level up your battle pass. What is the fastest way to level up your battle pass? We're going to go over that. This is the ultimate guide concerning all things loot and leveling up your battle pass. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. We are Vigor Gaming. We are all Vigor all the time. We're coming out with Vigor videos each and every single week, so join us if Vigor is your thing, and let's jump into this. All right, so how do you level up your battle pass the fastest? The answer is loot. The more loot you get and extract with safely, the faster you're going to rise in your XP. So the question then becomes, how do you get the most loot? What is the most effective and efficient way to get loot in the game? Answer: resources. It's all resources. Resources are food, electronics, chemicals, fertilizer, fuel, glass, metal parts, nails, and wire. Now keep in mind, you don't get any XP for weapons, ammo, or consumables. You also don't get XP for weapon parts or consumable parts either. So we're gonna focus on, as you're leveling up your battle pass, as you're trying to get the most out of your loot, we're gonna focus on resources because that's where you get all of your experience. Now you also do get experience for hitting comm stations, for unlocking the safe, for protecting your partner if you're in duos and stuff like that. And those things are important to do. The ideal way to get the most loot in the game is to try to hit every point and get the most effective and efficient loot that you can before you extract. But what loot should you be going for? What resources should you be going for? Not all resources are created equally. Here is a list of the resources by XP. As you can see, this is per item. So one electronics is 5 XP, one fuel is 5 XP, glass is 4 XP, one food is 2 XP, chemicals is 2 XP, fertilizer, metal parts, wires, and nails are all 1 XP. So by far, per item, the most valuable resources per XP are electronics, fuel, and glass at 5 and 4 XP relatively. So you think to yourself, okay, what I gotta do, I gotta get in, and I gotta get electronics and fuels. This is actually incorrect because of how these resources stack. Now, when you collect resources, you can only stack a certain amount in your pouch. Here is the list on how they stack and how much XP total you can get from each stack. So as you can see, the most valuable per XP is electronics. However, electronics you can only stack 10, and that equals 50 XP total. Whereas glass at 4 XP, you can stack 50 and get yourself 200 XP. Glass is by far the most effective resource in the game. You want to be searching for glass. You then want to be searching for wire and metal parts, and you want to be maxing out those stacks. Now, if you're not able to max out the stacks, absolutely go for everything else. But if you can get maximum stats, you're going to get the most XP in the game in a match. So we've gone over what stacks to get. Glass by far is the best stack. However, what happens when you're collecting loot and you max out your pouch? Something that a lot of people don't know about is you can actually go in and you can delete wire, nails, etc., whatever's in your pouch, and make room for more. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, why do I want to delete it? I'm not going to get the XP from that. Incorrect. You actually get the XP in Vigor for initially looting it. When you delete it from your pouch, at the end of the game, even though you've deleted, let's say you've deleted 150 metal parts, you're still going to get 150 XP out of that when you extract, even though you deleted it, because you don't get the credit for extracting, you get the credit for looting. So the way to get the most resources in the game, as far as just collecting resources and XP, is to gather up all your resources, delete it to make room, and then gather more, delete to make room, and then gather more, and then extract. And that is going to be the best way to get your maximum XP that you can and level your battle pass up faster. So we've gone over XPs by resources, we've gone over resource stacks, we've gone over what is the best resources to get to maximize your XP. Glass, wire, metal parts are by far the best because of the stacks that you get. Now let's talk about what are the best maps to get. In our opinion, the best maps for loot are as follows. Battery comes in number 1 by far. It just has the most resources. It's the easiest to get to. There's a reason that was the only played map when this game first came out. When you could select which maps to play, everybody was playing Battery because Battery is just the best map for loot. Then Grantham Valley. Then you've got Fajelikaniminin. I can't say that name. You've got Victorson Station, then Brodeling, and in our opinion, Verg is actually the worst. Now, that doesn't mean that these maps are bad necessarily. It just means they're less efficient as these other maps. So any opportunity opportunity you get to play Battery of Grantham. These are fantastic maps to get loot on. These are fantastic maps to use your crowns to level up resources so that more resources are there so that you can maximize your opportunity to level up your battle pass and get more loot. Now, each of these maps are going to have best spots for loot. Overall, it's wherever the highest density of buildings are on the map. That tends to be where the best loot is. So on Battery, you've got the military base. By far, it's not even close. Military base is going to have all of the loot. On Grantham, it's the village area with all of the houses next to each other. Just go down that road, cross the street, hit house after house after house. You should be able to collect a lot of loot there. In Vigor, it's actually the abandoned retreat down by the church. Just off of the church in that little valley, there's an abandoned retreat. That is the best place on that map to get loot, particularly if, again, your loot is leveled up with crowns. In Victorson Station, it is the village area right there next to the train station. In Broadalin Bridges, it's right there, that cluster of homes next to the bridges. In Verg, it's the hotel right at that intersection. And finally, on Fisk, just stay next to the pier and the docks and you should be good. That's where all the loot is. Let's talk about now when to use your crowns. Now, you can use crowns to level up your loot. The best way, the most efficient way to do this is in duos. And the reason is because if your partner levels up your crowns, you get the benefit of that level up as well. It doesn't cost you as much, and then you can insure. So he can level up 2 levels and you can insure, and you're both spending 60 crowns. You're getting 200% at least, because other people most likely are going to also level up the loot, and you're insured. When you're insured, you do not lose loot. So when possible, insure, collect as much loot as you can, and then if you die, you still get the XP, you still get to keep the loot, you still maximize your opportunity to level up your battle pass. Do that in duos. It's the best way to level up your battle pass. It's the easiest way to level up your battle pass, and it costs you less. If you're not in duos, I wait and see if anybody else levels up. I will level up. It does cost more crowns, so I don't necessarily do that. In single player, I really try to avoid fights. I try to maximize my XP via my stacks. I try to hit as many points as possible, and then I get out of there. Remember, leveling up your battle pass is about getting as much loot as possible and extracting with that loot, whether that's via insurance or extracting via an extraction point. You want to be as efficient as possible. You don't want to dawdle around in fights. You want to get in, get out, get your XP, and level up that battle pass. Let me know some strategies that you utilize to level up your battle pass in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys out there on the battlefield.